Hi, I'm David Norris and I'm serving up the perfect podcast, Pompey Platter with Russ, Daz and Has. Play up, Pompey.
He used to be a waiter, did David Norris. Well, he's served up the perfect cocktail here.
Jarrett back to goal, Lang. Needs a bit of help. Goodness from Lang. What can he do? Still there, Lang. Lang! You wouldn't believe it! Cross comes into the near post. Headers into the net! Shaughnessy! Surely Pompey are heading for the championship! Portsmouth are promoted as League One champions!
Let me just say at the start, we're not going to be relegated, period.
Let's just hear that one more time.
Let me just say at the start, we're not going to be relegated, period.
That's right. Mystic Meg, step aside. We've got Mystic Michael. He knew back in November when he did his little talk for the PST, Mystic Michael got it right. He said we weren't going to get relegated, period. And here we are. Pompey have confirmed their place in the Championship for the 25-26 season, and we are very happy about it. Hello and welcome to Pompey Patter Podcast, episode 33. Pompey staying up, Olé Olé, with myself, Has, and my two darling co-hosts, Russ and Daz. I assume we are feeling good, boys.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah,
Could feel better.
Wow, I don't know how it could go much better, to be honest. Scum have gone down, we're going up. We've done it with 2 games to spare, just like last season. It's a good place to be. It is good.
Who would have thought, back in, October, maybe even November?
Yeah.
If you told me then if we'd finish clear away from it, 2 games to go, you would have laughed, wouldn't you?
I think, we'd have all said, you what? But we managed to do it by the powers of
God.
Well, Rob Atkinson's head.
When I say God, I mean
John Messino.
John Messino, yeah.
Yeah, of course. Big Daddy is Rob Atkinson coming to help us rescue that point at Derby. I tell you what, that set it up, really. I think if we'd have gone in losing that game, that would have changed it. But anyway, hello and welcome to the podcast. So today we will run over our Easter fixtures, where we managed to come away with 6 points from our Easter weekend fixtures, which is quite astounding, really. I don't think any of us expected it. We kind of expected 4 points, but I don't think we expected 6, although I will claim the fact that, and Russ knows this, that I claimed it would be done by Watford about 2 months ago.
Yep,
and did. It has. So if you want your lottery numbers, don't come to me. We're going to cover Norwich away, and then our 1-0 home win, which is the one that secured our status next season.
Calm down, we're going to be promoted next year, all right?
Yeah, sorry, that's next year. Sorry. We'll then look ahead to Sheffield Wednesday away, and then we will have Has versus Daz. We will have Harry's Who Am I, and then we will have a bit of any other business. So let's start with Norwich. Now, Daz, I'm going to come to you first, just to annoy you, just for the fact that you bailed on me and Russ, because we were meant to all meet in the pub for the first time, that we were all going to be in the same room together, and Daz managed to double book himself because he's a complete dick. So you can go first, and how do you think the first half went?
I think it's a good... Sorry to interrupt. I think it's probably a good job, because I think me and you were too busy chatting and not fully paying attention.
No,
but you said at the time, I hope Daz is watching, because I'm going to forget most of this.
I think it's also important to remind Daz to repeat what he said on the phone.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that, though, but he has to say that. Daz, first half.
Well, to be honest, I think I was the only one actually being professional by the sounds of it. And it's not about... me, I'll just double book. I'm just too popular, unfortunately. But
professional? Do we get paid for this?
Well, I don't know. You're the one who started this, so you'll tell us.
Yeah, well, I wonder why I got no money.
So first off, well, to be honest, it's with Norwich and Watford this weekend, it was hard to sort of think about how they were going to approach the games, because obviously they're in that bit where obviously I know before the weekend all teams had an opportunity to either get promoted or relegated, but they were in that sort of little bracket where it was very minimal. I think it was like 0.1% or things like that. So to really know how a team like that are going to approach a game, you kind of need to be in and around that club, because you could have a club that of a team of players running down their contracts, or not being offered new contracts, so they have to play for those contracts. But with Norwich, obviously, I wasn't sure how they were going to approach the game. But I suppose when they got a corner in the first 10 seconds, when they took their kickoff and basically just ran at us, I thought this could be a very long day. But I mean, after that, I felt we pretty much dominated most of the ball. I think we looked after the ball pretty well. The back line were comfortable with it. I thought Hayden and Potts did really well in that centre mid. And when we created some good chances. And then obviously we had our first goal through Bishop. It was a great ball in by Richie, and that's that Premiership quality ball from Richie you get, and it's a great header from Bishop to put it back across the keeper. Now I know they didn't have Angus Scummer in goal, so they didn't have their first choice keeper. And I did see their Long, I think the lad was in goal. I think he came under a bit of stick.
I don't think Norwich fans were that impressed that Gunn had been kind of rested.
Yeah. And that's the thing, and that just shows you again, like, sort of, I suppose, how they approached it. Where if you feel maybe it's a bit where they feel because we're towards the bottom of the league that they feel they can rest him, but I don't really think keepers need rest, to be honest. So I think maybe there was something else behind that. But it's a great header.
Normally it's just to give the goalkeeper a run out, isn't it?
Yeah. Exactly.
They're sat on a bench all season. Doing it's like, go on, have nothing to play for. Go and have a game.
Yeah, and the keeper got got a hand to it, didn't he? He got a touch, but I think the header was just really well placed, a decent enough power on it, and 1-0. And
see, all the slack he got, the goalkeeper. I don't remember at the time thinking, how did he not save that or something like that? I mean, I didn't think he did terribly wrong.
No. I thought. Well, I mean, it's again, we're not around the club, and obviously it depends on if our second or third keeper came in, and maybe the Norwich fan base didn't want him to be rested in the first place, so that might be. And then obviously when you concede 5 goals to a team towards the bottom of the table, that gamble is going to come under some stick, isn't it? I suppose so. But I mean, then Norwich got back into it pretty early after that. Didn't deal with the ball. It wasn't a particularly good corner, but obviously it came through a crowd of bodies. I think Potts cleared it off the line, did the best he could, but it fell to probably one of the best strikers in the league, Josh Sargent. And to be fair, he pinged it, and he a great strike, and there's not a lot Nicky Schmidt could do.
Didn't celebrate though, did he?
Nah, I suppose after that, they're 1-0 down to a team towards the bottom of the league, so they're probably not too buzzing about it. Like, I suppose,
but not even like a fist pump or nothing. He literally smashed that ball so hard. Literally, it went in. He turned around and just walked off.
Yeah, and that's it. But maybe they're disappointed because of how they started. So, and how their season is at the moment. Because again, they didn't really have anything to play for. So it'll be quite similar when we play whole last game of the season. We score, it'll be nice, but we haven't got anything to play for. So you're not going to celebrate it as much as you did like when we scored against Leeds or and stuff like that. So I can kind of understand it, to be honest, from where they are. But again, I thought we reacted well to that, and I think we were the better side. I know they had a chance. I think it was at 1-1 where the ball came. Who's the young lad on the right wing? But he had a free header, and I know Nick Schmidt got a cross and did pretty well. It's a bit similar to Bishop's header against Watford. I think keeper did well to get across, but he should be scoring that from that far out. But again, reacted pretty well and got a second with a really well worked goal. I think it was Hayden who put Bishop. Was it Murphy down the line? But with a good bit of build-up play before that, and Murphy put in a danger area, and Richie was there to tap in. And I thought 2-1. I thought if we go in at 2-1 at half time, be more than happy. I mean, it's not a scoreline that sort of settles you a great deal, but to get the penalty just before half time, and it's a perfect example of keeping the ball alive. Again, finishing off with was it Ashish, wasn't it, at the edge of the box? Decent strike, keeper parries it. Again, you may think he's parried it probably into the wrong area. But again, kept the ball alive. Hayden gets hold of the ball and gets taken down, clear-cut penalty. And fair play to Bishop. I'm not going to lie, I was ridiculously nervous when he stepped up. But fair play to him, putting his foot through the ball. Probably could have been something that he did against Derby, would have been nice, but better late than never. And yeah, going in at 3-1, and when the half-time whistle went, you could definitely hear the Norwich boos, couldn't you?
Yeah, and I think they had a bit of expectation on themselves that they kind of, even if they weren't going to make it, they wanted to make a good fist of it. But Russ, it felt like Norwich were kind of on the beach, and we discussed it going into the game anyway, the fact that the front line is like a really good Championship standard. The midfield is pretty decent as well. There was some rotation, but then you get to their defence, and their defence is actually quite poor. And it's something that we actually took advantage of, and it's something that we've struggled to do all season. We clearly do ship lots of goals, but this time we decided, well, okay, if we do ship load of goals, we're just going to outscore you.
Yeah, it was a strange one from the Norwich. Well, not a strange one. It's one of them, like, you never know what you're going to get with teams who've got nothing to play for. They're either play like Brazil or they don't turn up. Norwich never have scored 3 goals. I didn't think they turned up at all. I think the only time they looked decent-ish was when it went 1-1. I think there's a few moments after that. Other than that, I thought it's just simple. And they're thinking of their front line. It is Signs, isn't it?
Yeah, Borja Signs and Josh Sargent. They were 2 of the top 5 scorers in the league coming into our game.
Yeah, and fair play to them. But I'm pretty sure when we played Norwich at home, the Borja Signs had only about 1 or 2 goals less than what he's got at the moment. I felt like when I looked at the top scorers in the league, I was like, hang on, I swear that was the same number he had when we played them, or like 2 less. 2 more than he did back in February we played them. So there's obviously been some sort of drop off, hence why they've dropped off from the playoff scene. Because you just sort of think, well, Bishop's on 11 and he missed 3 months. He's only 6 behind Signs.
Borja Signs scored 2 goals in the 11th and 14th of March, and then until then, his last goal was on the 30th of November.
Yeah, so that's why they've had a massive. They flew, didn't they, at the beginning of the season? They looked like they were going to be up there, not necessarily 1, 2, or 3, but in the playoff scene, and they just completely dropped off.
Well, it must be why they sacked Johannes Torup after the game, or after this weekend. He's been let go, and Jack Wilshere's been put in interim charge.
Yeah,
but when you've got a team that's not really wanting to kind of play, and because they haven't got a lot to ride, this is when you've got to do what we did, really, and you've got to go in and take advantage of the fact that they're not really asked.
Yeah, and I think that's what we did. We just went for the jugular, didn't we? I mean, we just and some players I felt had their best game on Friday. I thought that was Hayden's best game.
Yeah,
I thought he was outstanding. There was a point where you turned to me and you in the pub and you went, "What's Hayden keep getting in the box for?" And I turned and said to you, "Well, I don't mind it because he's causing trouble." And then what happened? because of his causing trouble, he won us a penalty.
And this is what we discussed was the fact that Hayden's game is not that. He's where Potts has been. He was at the beginning of the season. It was DazHarry sitting with Potts breaking forward, and then it's swapped, and DazHarry's the one that's been getting forward, and Potts has been the sitter and the one kind of breaking between the centre halves. And where Hayden's replaced DazHarry, I thought it might change back. But actually, Hayden's done really well, especially over this Easter weekend. I think they're the best 2 games he's had in a Pompey shirt. And it's not what he's been doing is not natural to his game. Where he's getting into the box, he's causing havoc. I'm not expecting a DM of someone like him, a defensive midfielder, to be able to quickly think like that and get their body in front of the defender to win a penalty. And even the game on Monday, he was getting into that box, and he's an aerial threat, right? So you get the box, get the ball in, because Adil Ashish isn't tall, so he doesn't really help Bishop. But if you've got Bishop and then Isaac Hayden in there, you're adding in an extra 6'3", 6'4". You're adding some extra height for defenders to think about, and it's actually really impressed me how I know he's an experienced player, but it's not really something that it's
No.
not natural to his game. So,
but that's something obviously Messina must have seen in training, that maybe he can do that role.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it did just call, like, we were shocked that we kept seeing him so high up the pitch, but it worked, and it seemed to suit him. It suited us. It was like finally we got somewhere to put him. I thought Potts had his best game for us.
He just and he did it again on Monday. To
Yeah,
be fair, he
just ran the show.
Yeah, ran the midfield.
I'm not being I'm not saying I don't rate Potts. Of course I do, but I'm not being as amazed about him as everyone else, because I've never liked his off-ball work. But the last 2 games he's been like everything I've kind of wanted from him. I've got, and it's been good. Do you know what I mean? Murphy was unbelievable. Maybe Bishop, not just because he scored hat-trick. I thought Bishop was outstanding again. It might be one of his best games he's played for the club. That was Oshish's best game. Richie come alive after what I said last week. You know what I mean? It was, he clearly listened to me. It was just such an all-round performance. I think the only 2 players for me that they still had a good game, but maybe you could have pointed the finger here and there was the 2 full-backs, Williams and Ogilvie. Just because they get caught out quite a bit, especially, such a good start to the second half. Because if we gone 3-2, we probably would have been starting to shit ourselves, wouldn't we? But to get off the way we did, I still, and this is how you knew they were on the beach. I still don't know how Murphy got that ball back, because it was so simple for the defender just to get rid of that.
I know. Well, the keeper should have done better, I think, anyway. And then
but the defender should have just cleared it. I mean,
he just watched it, didn't he? He just watched it. Oh, there it goes, back to Murphy. There he is.
Yeah, Murphy just kind of like walked past him and went, "Oh, cheers, mate." It's almost like he was shocked to get it.
Yeah.
And then at that point, I know if I remember rightly, you got a little bit nervous when it went 4-2, which that was for me the criticism with Ogilvie. I still don't know where he was. I've watched the goal back. I don't know how he got caught. There was so much space on that left-hand side.
Bearing in mind that was their right back as well.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? And it was like, I turned to you, didn't I? Even before we scored, and went, "Where the fuck is Ogilvie?"
I think they just caught us out, and he got caught high up, because if you against Watford, he was coming inside a lot. So and he did it. It was kind of really noticeable when we played Sheffield United away, wasn't it? Where Murphy stuck right on the byline, on the side, on the touchline, and Ogilvie comes in and he gets in the box, and then if that happens, but Murphy loses the ball, Ogilvie isn't there.
Yeah. And then at that point, some people in the pub were a bit, ooh, here we go. And I remember turning to you and saying, "Nah, we're fine. We got this." Because you could they shouldn't have scored them 2 goals. We were so dominant. And you could just see the players' heads never went down. They just got on with it. We dominated again straight after that. Great play between Oshish and Bishop linking up, and Nice ball back of Regan Paul. Lovely to see him get a goal.
That was a really composed finish for a
It was.
centre half.
Yeah, it was. I was really happy for him. Annoyed he didn't do it a week before when I predicted it, but but I was glad that he got his goal, and it was just an incredible feeling, and it just sort of felt that like that is it now. Like this would have to be the most, because the amount of teams, it would be the most. They all can't win every game, doing. And he just sort of thought, come on, let's just do this Monday now. Let's enjoy these last 2 games. We put ourselves in a good spot. 1 away from home for the 3rd time? Is that right?
3, yeah.
We haven't done anything. I don't even got a point away from home for, I can't even remember when.
Well, it was Oxford, wasn't it?
Yes, that was the last time.
That was the last win. And then before that...
I think it was Swansea away. I think that was our last point.
Really?
I think.
That was fucking ages ago. Bishop only just come back at that point, didn't he?
Yeah, November. Yeah, Swansea.
Wow, that's been the issue, isn't it? All season is not getting them draws away from home. They're very important.
A lot of last minute goals, especially at the beginning of the season, wasn't it? With Leeds,
but even
Middlesbrough,
lately
Burnley,
as well. Preston and
even Coventry.
Yeah, you're talking. Even if you just got another 8 points out of that, do you know what I mean?
Well, this is the other thing of what the positives to look at, right? Is the amount of injuries, and we're now at the fact that Connor Shaughnessy and Regan Paul, who are our contracted best centre halves we've got, the last time they played together, can you guess?
Shaughnessy and Paul.
Yeah,
Chesterfield.
It was.
Yeah,
that's
only
insane.
That's what he said in his interview.
The 5th of November, 2023. So if you could have I know everyone has injuries, but not to the extent that we do, right? I really don't believe that many clubs have had the injuries to the extent we have to such key players.
Not the amount of key players.
Yeah.
And at once,
having one fit centre half, when next season, when we have these players back, we're going to have more stability. As long as they can stay fit, which I think they will, we'll have more stability. And I really think that with a few additions, whether we definitely need some depth in midfield, even with Dazell's contracts being extended or triggering because we stayed up. We need some more depth on the wings because Ritchie and Murphy, if they were to be injured, we'd be pretty screwed because the likes of Harvey Blair isn't ready right now. So there is some places to invest. As long as we do that, I genuinely think we'll be a lot more comfortable next year.
Yeah, we have to invest. I've said it all along, even ages ago. It always worries me that we don't invest and we just end up falling behind because we've got Birmingham coming up. They're going to be spending millions.
Wrexham potentially.
They'll spend millions.
Have you seen the rumour on? I know it's Twitter page, but they said that Oxford apparently offering Kwame Poku 30k a week.
Nah, bullshit. They can't afford that.
Yeah.
If they are, then they're just going to put themselves in a ridiculous situation in the future. So good luck to them.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, even I would want us to be paying that sort of money for players. We're not
for a player coming from League One.
No, definitely not. Why would you even offer him 30 grand a week? That makes no sense. So if you could afford that, why didn't you keep Murphy?
No, Wrexham.
I thought you said Oxford.
Birmingham.
Hang on, wait.
It is. Yes, yeah, sorry. No, it is Birmingham.
Birmingham. Oh yeah. They'll go off and do. I don't know why I thought you said Oxford. Anyway, I
thought you said Oxford. Then some reason I thought Wrexham.
Did I? I might have said Oxford by accident. I don't know why.
You said Oxford. Yeah.
I meant Birmingham.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I expect him to be throwing silly money at everyone. Fucking get on with it. I mean, they are not that. We're not in competition with them next season. As stupid as that sounds, considering they're in League One right now.
I would love it if they spent a shit ton of money and went down though.
Oh, it'd be amazing. That is that. I can't think of his name. Stan, whatever his name
Jay
is.
Stansfield.
Is he? He's not a championship striker. I don't care how much you paid for him. Do you know what I mean? He ain't going to be doing the business in the championship. It was like that Mullin all along. Why? What he got promoted, was it twice before we went to Wrexham to League One and never did anything.
Yeah.
And then he goes to Wrexham, they get promoted to League One and never did anything. I mean, so it just as I said about Yengi, some players just have a level.
They have a ceiling and they reach it.
So who else you got in League One? Like Stockport, they will throw money.
You really could probably do with Wickham coming up, couldn't we?
Yeah, I want Wickham to come up, or like Leighton Orient or something in the playoffs.
You'd probably want Wickham to come in automatically in second, and then you want because even Charlton have got new owners, right?
Yeah,
and they've got a bit
throw
of money.
Yeah,
so you could do with a Leighton Orient coming up because some of their key players are like Jamie Donnelly. He's got I think 15 goals and assists for them this year now, but he's only on loan, so he could come back. But if they don't, they're losing a key part of their attack because he's a kid on loan from Spurs. So it's going to be hard next year, and I mean we could probably do with Plymouth having a miracle this year as well to stay up. And the likes of
there's no reason why they couldn't.
No,
it's just a goal difference, isn't it? It's so bad.
And even then, someone like a Luton to still go because
I think they got Leeds and they might need to win the title the last game of the season. So
wow, we can dream.
But we have to invest. Going back to your question, there's no if buts about it. Messino said he's if we stay up, which we obviously have now. He said this a few weeks ago that we have money to spend. So he just hoped that the news don't do some stupid headline gets everyone excited when actually when you read it, it doesn't mean what it says. I can't remember what terminology they used last season.
So Messino said there is money there. It's going to be around the same as what we've had this season, but a bit more. It's not going to be silly money.
No.
But it's going to be the same ballpark as this season, but it's going to be higher, which is kind of what you expect. It's going to be as long as it's getting. You would like to probably think that we will spend rather than be spending 300-400k on players like Elias Sorensen. Obviously, Nico Schmid, it worked, and it went well there. But that's more of a gem, and that's more of the anomaly. You probably want to be looking to spending 7 figures on a couple of players at least to accompany those middle 6-figure fees.
I think the thing that helps is obviously last season we had to do a lot of rebuilding, didn't we?
Yeah.
This season or next season, sorry, I don't think we need like a massive overhaul.
I think we probably need 6 or 7.
Yeah, but I mean that's more. But a few of them numbers will be to complement, won't they? Rather than
but it also depends on. I mean, I would imagine we're going way off piste of this, but we'll carry on. It also depends on the likes of Harvey Blair and Abdullah Kamara. I would imagine, and I would hope that they go out on loan.
I would imagine they will.
For the same with Toby Stewart, I would hope that I would be renewing Ben Killip's deal for another year. He's going to be happy as third choice, I'm sure, just chilling, and he might get a cup game. And loaning out Toby Stewart for the season, League 2 or League 1, if he can do it that high for a whole year. But he could do with
so far in the 2 games he played for Crawley.
Well, he did well, didn't he? Obviously, he kept that clean sheet away at Birmingham, away at the league champions, which is pretty decent. So he needs a whole season in the EFL, really. So it's younger players that aren't ready now, but could and probably do have a future at the club. You need to obviously kind of have the numbers in to be able to replace them. So you're probably looking at 7 or 8. Obviously, there's a couple of free transfers. So someone like Ryan Ledson, who's leaving Preston, is a player. He's got over 300 championship appearances. He's an experienced midfielder. He's someone that I would look at to bring in. Might not start, but it depends who else you bring in. But he's got the experience that you could bring. So it doesn't have to be spending money. Like you wouldn't expect if Hull went down, I wouldn't expect you to go and spend $4.5 million to bring Kamara out of Hull, something like that, right? But if there's a player available that gets relegated, or another player of a caliber that could cost 1.5 to 2 million, for example, Hayden Matthews, or someone maybe a bit older, then I think, go do it. A couple of players spend 7 figures on.
Yeah, no,
For me, I'm not expecting silly money. I'm not expecting us to go and spend like 10 million on transfers this summer. But I reckon if you could spend around 5 million on fees, maybe is probably a ballpark. Maybe a couple of players, 1.5 to 2. You're looking at 3 to 4 million. Sorry, and then you get a couple of other players like Nico Schmid that if you can pick up for 400 to 500k. You think of players like that. That's where Rich Hughes seems to thrive. Is those kind of out of nowhere transfers that no one's kind of thinking of. Maybe a player abroad again. Then, if we can get another Nico Schmid in another position in the summer, we're in a good place. Right, let's move on. Daz, we'll go back to you because you've just been very quiet. I might have fallen asleep. Watford. when we were going in, obviously we were hoping that we could get the job done. And with the other results, it's a pretty good job that we did, really.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the order of the day, wasn't it? Just get the job done. It was quite kind of nice to see us have two kind of different performances. One, obviously, against Norwich, where obviously scored a fair few goals and looked pretty convincing. To then this game where we weren't. I thought up until we scored, I thought we were pretty good. I thought we dominated. I don't think Watford showed a lot. I think it looked like they were just ready to break on us. Yeah, and up until the goal, I thought we were pretty good. But obviously, as the game went on, it was kind of a grind. Although, saying that second half, we should have added to our tally. I mean, I mentioned Bishop's header earlier, and yeah, I think he'll be disappointed with himself he didn't get another goal. I know the keeper got a cross and that sort of stuff, but I feel a player of Bishop's quality scores. And I'm pretty sure if you asked him, he'd be quite annoyed that he didn't put that away. Just trying to think of the goal. The goal was actually quite confusing because I wasn't sure what was going on, to be honest. Because obviously I saw when the cross went in, I saw that Murphy had been fouled, and then from and that's the thing, from the back of the threatening end. Then Bishop, I saw Bishop sort of follow up on the keeper, but then because of how far away it was, it looked like Bishop maybe then fouled the keeper afterwards, because the way Sam Allison put his hand out, it kind of looked like he'd given a foul.
Yeah,
so
I thought the same.
So we didn't really celebrate that much, but we did. So, but yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those things. I mean, I'm glad we can score goals as good as we did the other day, to then score a goal like that, because you need to be able to score all kinds of goals to stay up in this league. And then especially to see the game out the way we did. I think John Messino said going down to 10 men probably didn't help us. And I think that's down to some nerves as well, because then the onus definitely is on us. Because obviously when a team goes down, is losing 1-0, 2 or whatever, that team has got nothing to lose, so they can go for it. But Watford going down to 10 men kind of played against that, because they still had to kind of sit in, because they couldn't be as expansive as open with one player less. So I think that sort of caused a bit of nerves, and I don't think we really played against 10 men particularly well. But yeah, I mean, as we were saying before we started talking about the Watford game, it was just getting the job done, and we did it, thank God.
And a key part of that, obviously, once we went 1 up, was Nico Schmid's save from the shot from Loser, who was actually one of their best players. And I thought, despite him at the end kind of throwing his toys out the pram and being a bit of a pathetic bitch, really, getting all upset at free kicks and stuff, and Aish taking out, can't remember who he took out. He thought he should have had a free kick, and then he just went and twatted someone just because he was frustrated. But in the first half, he was playing when Watford got back into the game. He kind of dropped deep in between the two centre halves and was kind of pulling the strings, similar to how Potts did for us. And his shot was very similar to his previous shot from Friday, which was saved by a very good save by James Trafford. And it was a similar thing for Nico Schmid, and that was an unbelievable save because that is going straight into the top corner, and just the ever so slight of touches from Schmid just tips it a little, just that little bit higher. And I mean, it would have been hard because those kind of goals, you kind of want to clap because of the actual goal itself, because the actual goal is incredible. But in that moment, it's if that went 1-1, I think we probably would have been talking about a very different game. Russ, Tom Cleverley wasn't too happy with Sam Allison. Not many people are ever happy with Sam Allison, but he wasn't happy with the red card. Stonewall red, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, he was through on goal. There's no double jeopardy outside the box. He don't kick his leg. He knew what he was doing. He didn't. It was just a Stonewall red card. I don't. Tom Cleverley's a dickhead. We know that from the previous game. You could tell there was a bit of bite in that game, wasn't there? You could tell there was still some bad blood from the game earlier in the season.
Yeah.
On the pitch, the players, and I think Watford have got a terrible disciplinary attitude. Hence 3 red cards in 2 games. The abuse, the way the shit they gave the ref all game. Like at the end when Sadie was doing an incredible job of keeping it in the corner, but they were just encroaching all the time. And it's like, well, we're not going to kick it whilst you stood 3 yards away. Fuck off, doing. And yet they're moaning, and then it's like, well, why are you moaning? You're the ones cheating. I mean, you're the ones trying to take advantage of a few yards. Just stand where you need to fucking stand. It wasn't hard. They just fucking they did my head in, Watford.
I did like the fact that they came and had a go because they're another team that have got literally nothing to play for.
Yeah,
and you had the contrast of Norwich literally, obviously waiting for their flight to arrive, but then you had Watford actually did come and give a go.
They gave a go, but I never. They never looked like scoring. I think that's probably the best I've seen us defend, because my criticism lately has been, and even against Norwich, how many goals have we conceded from corners, crosses? I mean, like how many headers have been scored, etc., etc. Whereas everything that came in that box, we just got rid of it. We headed it away. Devlin headed loads away. Atkinson was heading everything away. It was just, Potts, Hayden when he was on the pitch. They just defended how we should have been defending probably for the last 2 months. I mean,
Rob Atkinson had 15 clearances that game, according to FotMob.
He was outstanding, and that was, it was a weird one because on Friday we were talking about players' best games now, but you had like Oshish. I wasn't shocked he was taken off at half time, gone from his best game to his worst game.
Yeah, he didn't look great, and obviously with the yellow card, it's not something you want to afford. Is getting him getting sent off.
No, and we had to take him off. And Sadie, look, I love Sadie. He's not a championship player, in my opinion, but for that sort of game, sometimes a player like him is handy. But,
Yeah, just because of his strength and his bunda that he's got, having him being able to take it in the corner with the assistance of 2 little vile like terriers as such to play against in Matt Ritchie and Terry Devlin to assist him. It was kind of the perfect 3 that you needed to keep that ball in that corner for. I mean, we kept it there for 4 or 5 minutes.
about literally 5 minutes. It was in that corner for,
which was half of the added time. So having those kind of players for that moment was actually pretty good. Obviously, Daz, we lost Jordan Williams. He seems to have redone his hamstring again. Again, you saw him punch the ground. It's not good. It's another injury again to a similar player. It's the same injury. You've got to feel for him at this point, because when he's played, I mean, there was a couple of games back when he came back before this injury. He kind of turned into Cafu for one of them?
Yeah, poor lad can't catch a break, can he? And as you said, like when he came back from his injury the other time and he looked absolutely mustard, you'd like to think that, like, and since his last injury as well, he's come back and he's looked good. So the only plus side out of this is that he's good at coming straight back from injury. He doesn't seem to need a couple of games to get up to speed. He seems that kind of player that can hit the ground running. So, I mean, that's the only sort of crumb of positivity you can hold on to. I mean, when you've done hamstrings a couple of times and they keep going, it's not great. It's not a good sign, because I think with any muscle and stuff like that, it doesn't tend to heal stronger. It's not like bone, where apparently that's meant to heal stronger. So yeah, I feel for him, because I thought he did pretty well. He was really good against Norwich. I heard Messino's interview where he was saying about that they felt he was okay to go back to start again, because obviously they took him out 1 or 2 games, put him back in, kept him out another game, and they felt that, I mean, he started with an unchanged 11, didn't he, on Monday to Friday. So by the sounds of it, they felt he was okay. I mean, at the end of the day, like, if it's going to go, it's going to go. I'm not sure how much you can look after someone completely. I'm guessing that he probably would have been rested for these next 2 games anyway. They probably would have thought, well, there's no point. A bit like the whole Lang and Shaughnessy sort of debate that people are having today about, is it worth them playing any minutes or just being on the bench and stuff like that. He probably would have, Williams, I'm guessing, would have been left out. But I mean, we had two other injury scares, but which are now sort of sorted. I don't know if, Harry, you wanted to talk about that next, but it's nice to know that both Murphy and Bishop are all right, and it was just a fact of a dead leg, and I think Bishop had a bit of cramp. So yeah, I mean, out of all the 3 that went off with an injury, I think the Murphy and Bishop obviously were the most important ones, weren't they? And that seems to be okay. But
Bishop did not want to come off, did he?
No,
it made me laugh. There was I don't know if you guys noticed it, where they were telling, well, you probably would have seen it, Harry, because you sit behind him, don't you? They were going mad at Bishop to go down. They were going, go down. He wouldn't go down. He was like, no, I'm not going down. And I think in the end, Richie went down just so...
Richie went down and held his head, so the ref had to stop the game because he said he had a head injury.
Yeah, so it was like he'd look around and just thought, I need to fucking do something about this, because...
But that's where the importance of kind of some leadership, and that's where Matt Ritchie did that interview the other day, didn't he? Where he said, I've been put in to hold structure and use experience, whereas Murphy's there as the danger man. I've not really been put in for that, and that's the kind of example where it's what he said is true. He's used his experience and his knowledge to think, well, he's not going to go down. He needs treatment, so I'll just go sit myself down in the centre circle. I'm not near to any touchline to be quickly moved off. I'll pretend I've got a head injury. Bishop got tended to, had a word with Messino without getting any medical assistance, so he didn't have to come off. So that was just like really clever from Richie, is using his experience to be able to do it. The other 2 positives that we managed to finish off with was 2 players that have been kind of out long term, which was Callum Lang and Conor Shaughnessy. Callum Lang was kind of coming on, then he wasn't, and then he was coming on again, then he wasn't, and then eventually he came on. How nice was it, boys, to see them both back? I mean, they both got an absolutely wonderful reception, and I think they both fully deserve it.
Yeah, it was lovely. It's kind of not a shame, obviously, because I'm absolutely buzzing and so relaxed now that we don't have to worry about really the next 2 games. Obviously, I know we want to finish strong and things like that, but it's kind of one of those things where I'm kind of thinking, did Lang and Shaughnessy have to play at all? I think maybe out of the two, I think it'd be Shaughnessy would be the one I'd really want to rest, because obviously he's had quite a few injury issues, isn't he, through the whole season? Where with Langy, it's more just obviously after the Oxford game, wasn't it, that he's had? So maybe he might be all right.
He was knackered. That was what worried me. Was fuck me, look how knackered he is, and how long was he even on for?
But that's
they came on 87 minutes, so they played just under 15 minutes.
Which ain't long, is it? I mean,
but he did a lot of sprints though. And
because the first thing that they did was someone played him down the line in behind, and I thought, Jesus Christ, the first thing you're doing to someone who's just had a hamstring injury is make them sprint.
but that's it. I was listening to the because Andrew Moon, I think, interviewed him after the game, and he had just finished doing more sprints after the game, because obviously any player that either comes on or doesn't come on at all after the final whistle, I'm guessing you guys might know this anyway, but they have to do a certain amount of sprints up and down the pitch to you can never recreate a full game situation, but you try and
to get something through them, isn't it?
It's getting them running, so they're getting up to the sort of the fitness levels which the other players sort of expelled when they played the game. So they'll do like you'll see it like on interviews after the game. You see a manager stood there, and you'll see players running up and down the pitch, and that's basically what it is. It's just so Langy would have done less running than a player that didn't get any minutes whatsoever. They work out all that sort of sports science and things like that. So they would have had him running after that as well. But it was lovely to see them both back.
Right, is there anything else we want to say on either of the Easter weekend games before we move on?
I've always put on our group, and I was just very glad that I had no idea what the other scores were on Monday.
Oh, I did.
Going in, especially with 10 minutes added on time.
I was just sat there thinking, I can't see Watford scoring, but I can see that stupid ref giving some stupid penalty or something like that.
If I'd have known when that 10 minutes went up that all the other teams below us were winning, I mean, we still would have been in a decent position, but I would have really panicked, because then that wouldn't have looked good. Because if you got all those teams winning below us, that's got momentum going into the last two games.
God, yeah. We just wanted it done, and I sat there and everyone just started winning, and it was like, oh God. And the thing I'm really happy with is we're safe before Preston, because in my honest opinion, Preston should get fucking relegated. I hope they do.
Mate, if you see, lump it on. 33-1 they are to go down.
Oh, that's worth at least a fiver.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. My mate's a Preston fan at work, and I said to him, I went, I can't believe that you're like down. And him and his dad actually think that they might only just be safe because their goal difference is better. Because they
got Plymouth. Jeez.
Yeah, exactly.
That's this Saturday, because I think, did I see something? They're selling adult tickets for like a £5.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, because no one wants to go.
Which fair play.
But Plymouth are in some good form now. So if Plymouth beat Preston,
then they've got to go to Bristol City. Come on, relegate Preston, please. Because in my honest opinion, in over 2 games, they have been the worst team I've seen.
Well, Heckingbottom's called out a lot of them and basically said they're shit. So
they're lucky they ain't down there anyway, in my opinion.
I think they got lucky but they had a good start to the season, didn't they? And that kind of helped them out. But right, shall we move on to our fixture predictions for the Sheffield Wednesday game?
What's the table at the moment?
We will quickly go over the table. So after Russ managed to get 2 points for his Bishop extravaganza guess. Daz, you got 0 because you went for a draw. And I got 1 point because I went for a 2-0 Pompey win. And then from Watford, you both went for a win. So you both got 1 point each. And then I got 0 because I went for a draw. So
did either of you two had Bishop? I thought one of you had Bishop.
No, Daz had Murphy double. I had Shaughnessy.
I could have sworn I was thinking about it earlier.
I am still bottom on 26. Daz is second on 27. Russ, you are pulled even further ahead onto 39.
Yeah, well, I'm safe from this. I think I'm mathematically safe from the forfeit. So
Yeah. and on that, when we were in the pub, we gave Daz a little ring, and apparently he was about to get in the shower. What he was doing, I don't know. Daz, do you want to repeat what you said to us on the phone?
Because I was very giddy at 3-1, I said that if we stay up, I'll just do the forfeit. I don't care. That's how much, and obviously that's what pulled us through against Watford. So you can all thank me later.
The table is kind of. We will keep going with the table
We'll
because
keep
there's only
going.
2 weeks to go. But
keep going.
The table is almost irrelevant. And Russ told me what your forfeit was, Daz, after that. And
yeah,
we're not telling you now.
No, all I say is just good luck.
Right.
So on that note,
don't worry, Daz. Me and you got to discuss Harry's just in case. So,
okay.
Well, I don't get it. Daz just said it. So, right.
Yeah, but if you come bottom, then you still got to do it. I don't care.
No, I'm not. No, Daz has admitted he's taking it.
Daz is happy to do a forfeit, but that doesn't stop you getting yours.
Nah, VAR, mate.
No. If you finish bottom, you both got to do a forfeit.
Right. Moving on before I get myself into shit. Sheffield Wednesday away. They have kind of dropped off. They're only 4 points ahead of us. So they are a team, if we win both of our games, they are a team we can overtake. They're a team in a bit of turmoil. They've got protests this weekend against Chancery, which is their owner. They've got big protests kind of because it's their last home game. Danny Roll seems like he's checked out, to be honest. I think he just can't be fucking arsed anymore, which I really don't blame him. He's pretty much guaranteed to go. He's probably going to go back to Scum, to be honest, which is a shame because I like Danny Roll. He's a good manager. They've won 1 in their last 5. They managed to beat Middlesbrough at home in their last game, but they've lost to Hull, Stoke, and Oxford in their last 5 as well. They've got quite a few injuries. Obviously, ex-Pompey and Loney and Deshaun Bernard. You've got a couple of others out there like Michael Heckway, Max Lowe, Dominic Iorfa. So they've got a few injuries at centre-half as well, sorry. Right. Our record at Hillsborough isn't great, boys, to be honest. I don't actually have the last time we beat them at Hillsborough.
It was 2002. We beat 3-1.
There you go. So 23 years ago. So that's just fantastic.
It's one of my favourite ever away performances. When we had Mercer and that, we just tore them apart.
And I think that's why it was so key that we got the job done now, because our record at Hillsborough is so poor. Otherwise we'd have lost at Hillsborough. It'd have gone down to the last game, and then we'd have all just been a shred of nerves.
I still loved the last time we played them. I think it was the last time. I'm sure it was.
The 3-0.
Oh no! So it would be the one before then.
4-1.
When they just gave her so much abuse, and he scored in 5 minutes.
He won me 25 quid. He did doing that because I put a £5 on for him to score any time.
Love it.
So right, the referee, by the way, I forgot about that, is Lee Doherty, whatever you want to call him. He's ref mostly in the Championship this season. A couple of little dip into League 1 and League 2. He's refed 4 previous games for Pompey. The one this season was our 3-0 home loss to West Brom. Last season, he refed our 1-0 win at home to Carlisle as well. So, not really experienced in the Pompey matter, but he's refed quite a few games now. Shall we go? We'll go Russ first this time. We've gone to Daz quite a lot. Let's go Russ.
I'll go 1-1, and I'll go for Bishop to carry on with his run.
Daz.
I don't care anymore. I think we're going to lose 25-0. I'll take it. Don't care. We're up. Who gives a shit?
And this is kind of how I feel, right? It's so nice to know. It would be really nice if we win the next two. It will be nice. It's not a necessity. It will be nice because it will be nice to finish
I hope we win the
further up
last
the
game.
table.
I hope we win
But
the last game.
Yeah.
the prize money is literally like 3k extra per position, so it's
Oh
not.
yeah, none
It's
of
not.
that matters.
There's no point in it. And
No.
fuck it, play Kamara, play Blair, play Jordan Archer and Ben Killip. Just fucking play Tayo Singer. Give him a game, I think, to be honest. The guy that won the Academy Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Well, we know who's not playing, so I don't know if you boys see it earlier.
Yes.
Omani and
Well, yeah, so
Gordon.
John Messino did a little thing with, or the news put out today, that John Messino has kindly let Cade Gordon and Marco Mani that they're basically not going to play for us again.
Apparently gave him some truths.
Well, I think Gordon was definitely a waste of time. Omani less so. It was just his availability. I think for me, he had a bit of quality there, and obviously Swansea and Oxford away, those goals he did score were pretty vital for us. But
I think he could.
Cade Gordon, he's had 100 minutes. He's literally played just over 100 minutes. He's literally done fucking nothing. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think League One would be better for Omani.
Yeah, I think so. I think a solid season, injury free as well, would really benefit him massively without having any. He needs consistency.
Yeah. He's clearly got talent, so it's someone that I wouldn't be shocked if in 4 or 5 years he was doing well in the Championship. I think it's just a bit too early for him.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so.
But on a serious note, I think obviously with the having protests and that sort of stuff, it seems like Sheffield Wednesday is a little bit all over the place at the moment. They've got nothing to play for, I believe. They got a chance for playoffs?
No. They're just
I'm
there.
going to go. Yeah, I'm going to go with a. I don't think we're going to lose. To be fair, I'm going to go with 2-1 Pompey. I'm going to go with Josh Murphy.
Lovely. I'm going to go for a Desmond. And I'm going to go. Regan Paul's going to double his tally for the season. Why not? Why not? Just because he was going to sign for them, wasn't he? And then Darren Moore left, and then we swapped because we were going to. He was going to sign for them. We were going to sign Deshaun Bernard, and then Darren Moore left, and they basically ended up swapping.
Wow.
So Regan Paul's going to score against the team he was going to join. And if Darren Moore didn't leave Wednesday, we would never have got Regan Paul. So
did not know
that.
Yeah, no, yeah. I can't remember when that came out, but that's definitely, I've seen that.
Happens for a reason.
What would you boys do with like Lang and Shotnessy? Would you just? I think I personally wouldn't bother with them this.
Now, if it wasn't finished, I would say keep them available for the next the end 10 minutes or so. But I think I honestly wouldn't. But it's not worth risking it for either of them.
I'd like to see. I'd say Lang. Shotnessy needs. I think that should be it now. I think that we see you in the summer. You know, enjoy your holiday, sort of thing. But Lang, I think Lang, we should get him at home for even if it's just 10 minutes. He's not had an injury season like Shotnessy has, do you mean?
No, but I think it'll be nice to have I think Shotnessy could come off, off the bench rather. So you'll have the likes of Potts will start. I would imagine Hayden will start, Atkinson will start, and then you can kind of bring them off as they can have a round of applause as a kind of a thank you because they are the lone players that have been largely successful compared to the likes of Omani and Gordon and players like that. So it'll be nice to give them a round of applause, especially the likes of Atkinson because he's just looked monstrous, and I'm pretty sure every Pompey fan and in fact like the likes of John Messino are fully hoping Bristol City make it into the playoffs and then go up so we can sign him.
I can't see why we couldn't sign him even if they didn't.
They've got some squad depth there, so if he's not guaranteed to start for them, he's probably not going to want to be benching, and he's guaranteed to start here.
But not even just that. He sounds like he wants to come. He's almost. I feel like he's telling us he wants to come here, without actually telling us he wants to come here. Does that make sense?
I mean, it's unusual that a lone player brings their partner and their child down, let alone a 6-month loan, or not even that, because it was right at the end of January, wasn't it? So
yeah, well, there's that news article in it which says that like there's like if he's available, we want him kind of thing, and I don't want to hear that stuff right now. To this,
because
like
it'll just be the same as like
do it
Alex
if you're doing
Robertson and Tino
Yeah,
Andrew, where we think we're going to get him and then they don't end up coming.
It's a stupid headline again, where it's like, well, obviously it was like, Messino delivers amazing news about. Well, I can't remember exactly how it's worded, and then when you read it, it's like, if he's available, we'll have a chance of getting him, and it's like, well, isn't that the same with any fucking player?
majority. Yeah, so it's one of those things I don't want to hear. Like, even though it's nice to see it, I don't want to.
I like what I hear from Atkinson, because we obviously want him. That's just a given.
Yeah.
But when he might be able to, he might go back there and say, look, I want to go to Portsmouth. Do you know?
Yeah, but then it's just required and this is why I'm saying it's players like that are worth spending that 7-figure fee, because he would command a 7-figure fee. And players like that are worth it because he complements Regan Poole really well. I think they've built up a pretty decent partnership, but then you've got the likes of Hayden Matthews, Connor Shaughnessy as well. They can probably have a nice relationship playing as well. So, but then obviously you don't want to stop Ibn Bawat, who's going to come through and almost be a new signing. You don't want to stop his progression because you've spent $500,000 on him. So, but if the opportunity came up for Rob Atkinson, he's a solid mid-table Championship centre half as a minimum. So if the opportunity comes up, it's one you can't say no to, I think.
Regan Poole has been unbelievable lately. Even before we got his injury again, he was just starting to show them signs, and it was no coincidence. And I said it before, and when we had McIntyre, when you haven't, defenders need, not everyone's a Van Dijk where he can play with anyone. Do you mean? Defenders need a part. If you're playing a back four, it's the only position on the pitch where you need that solid together partnership. You've got midfielders, you've got one that attacks, one that stays back, one that, they're rarely together. Centre backs are together all the time. They need that partnership, and it just did not work with like McIntyre.
No, and it's good because where if you've got kind of little and large with Atkinson and Poole, because Paul's a ball playing centre half. Obviously, he's really good aerially, but he's not. I don't think he's even 6 foot, is he? Whereas Atkinson is that big, powerful, muscular, big aerial threat, even more so than Regan Poole is. And he just mops up everything. You send a big goal kick or a big ball forward, he's going to get his big bonks on it and get rid of it. So they've got their different styles of game that complement each other really well.
Atkinson is your Championship ragged,
but without the stupid mistakes.
Yeah. What I mean is like he's the more polished, better Sean Raggett. I mean, like he just reminds me of Raggett when Raggett's having a good game.
Yeah, no, I can see what you mean by that.
Because he also, to me, like I've always been quite impressed. That Atkinson can play a ball out from the back himself.
Yeah,
he reminds me of Raggett. He still looks awkward when he does it though. But he manages to pull it off. So who gives a shit? I mean,
right. So we've covered all the party atmosphere of the 2 Easter games. We've done our Hillsborough prediction. So now, Russ, it is time for Has versus Daz.
Certainly is. So it's Has 11, Daz 12. The closest it's been since Daz went 1-0 up. So this week we're doing how many can you get is the title. And it's basically, you've got 2 minutes. I'm going to give you both 2 categories, all Pompey related. You just got to name as much as you can in 2 minutes. And the one who wins gets the most is the winner of the week. Easy enough?
Sounds it.
Yeah.
Cool. Right. Daz, I'm going to give you a choice of... Do you want to take the first or second set of categories?
I'll take the second.
Okay, Has.
Yes.
Are
Let's
you
do
ready?
this.
Right,
Born ready, mate. I'm going to win 13-12.
In 2 minutes, I'll need you to name as many official Pompey captains. So none of they've had it for a game or they had it here or vice captain. Officially captains since the year 2000. Okay?
If I get one wrong, is that it? Or can I just...
No, you just got to name as many as you can, but I will tell you if you got one right or wrong. So,
okay.
And I'll just count them up. Once 2 minutes is done or you've named them all, that'll be your points, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Go.
Marlon Pack.
Yep.
David James.
Yep.
Brett Pittman.
Yep.
Tom Naylor.
Yep.
Sean Raggett. No. Clark Robertson.
Yep.
Ben Chorley.
Yep.
I can't believe he captained us. He should be captain in Prison FC. Who else? Jesus Christ. Guy Whittingham?
No.
No, I'll just chuck in someone out there. Mine has gone. Who? Oh, Michael Doyle.
Yep.
Got
a minute left. You've had half your time.
How many have I got? 6? 5 or 6?
7.
7? Oh, that's even better than I thought. God, who? What chairman has got? I really can't think.
There's some real obvious ones you're missing.
Sully Montari?
No.
Kit Simons?
No, that's too early.
Honestly, I've gone.
Oh, he's gone. He's got 20 seconds left and he's gone. You're missing some massive names.
Of course I am.
10 seconds.
Nah, done, mate.
Done? Sure?
Yeah.
Right, who lifted the FA Cup?
Soul.
First name is a song.
Do you want to name any Daz you can think of?
Do you say it was after the 2000s?
Yeah, from the year 2000.
Oh, I didn't hear that bit.
I did say that.
Yeah, neither did I. Was Sean Derry one?
Yep.
Paul Merson. Stefanovic.
Yep.
Teddy Sheringham. Just trying to think after that now. DazHarry. Just trying to think through the teams and things like that.
There's only 2 missing now. 3, sorry. 3 missing.
3. So Sol Campbell, when he left, it was
Liam Lawrence, was he
Liam
one?
Lawrence, yep.
Yeah, great one, great shout. Was Michael Brown ever one?
No, it wasn't listed that he was. No.
Jason Pearce.
One more. I'll tell you what.
Johnny Earl.
Yeah, it was Johnny Earl. There you go. He did well. Yeah, I thought he did well there, Has, actually.
Oh, there's names I'm annoyed at, like Johnny Earl, Campbell and Pearce.
Yeah, especially Sol. I'm thinking, surely Campbell.
Yeah, that's poor from me.
I wish I had that one. I wish I had gone for that.
You don't know what you've got next, Daz?
I know.
Right.
Go on then.
So you got 2 minutes, Daz, to name as many top goals, official top goal scorers in the league only, since the year 2000. Okay. So they had to be the club's official top goal scorer at the end of the season, league goals only. Are you ready?
Yeah, go. Right, Bishop.
Yep.
Pittman.
Yep.
Marquis.
Yep.
Roland Curtis. Just tell me back now. Who scored those goals there? Cal Naismith.
Yep.
Working back. Mark Minotti, was he one?
Yep.
Oh, fucking hell, lovely. Jed Wallace.
Yep.
Season. Said Cal Naismith, didn't I?
Yep.
For that. Since 2000, yeah?
Since the year 2000.
Right. Peter Crouch.
Yep.
Todorov.
Yep.
How many have I got now?
9.
How many do I need?
You have 1, but you can carry on if you want.
Oh, right. Lovely. Okay, cool. Now the pressure's off then. That's fine. Yakubu.
Yep.
Dindan.
Yep.
Because it was either him or Piquion I was going for.
Piquion was the top scorer, but not in the league. He was.
Right. Right, before that, 2008. Who would that have been? Have I said Canu?
No, but that is a yep.
Benjani.
Yep. And that would be time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he done well there. Steve Claridge.
Yeah.
You had David Nugent, David Norris, Isaac McLeod. Gareth Evans was joint top goal scorer with Mark McNulty. Lowe, and the one recently, which surprised me, I don't remember him scoring that many, was Harness.
I thought Harness was one, yeah.
Yeah. So that's 1-0 to you, Daz, after that first bit.
All right, lovely.
So now we're going on to, back to you, Haz. I need you to name as many Pompey player of the seasons that you can.
Since 2000?
Since whenever you want, mate.
All right.
Time from now.
Josh Murphy.
Yep.
Marlon Pack.
Yep.
Matt Clark.
Yep.
Sean Raggett.
Yep.
Cal Naismith.
No.
Did he not win it? Gareth Evans has won it. Hasn't he?
No.
Brett Pittman.
No.
Did he not?
No.
Did he not win it when he scored 23 goals that season?
No.
Oh.
That was Matt Clark.
Jed Wallace.
Yep.
Adam Webster.
No.
No. Gary Roberts.
No.
Oof. I don't even know, man. Pedro Mendes.
No.
Kanu.
No.
I'm just guessing random people. Drew Talbot.
Yes. No, I'm joking.
Yeah. Oh man.
Just try and think of some big names, even if you don't know if they've won it or not.
David James.
Yes.
Did he? Oh, Alan Knight.
Twice. Yes, he won it multiple times.
Andy Alford.
Yep.
Sweet. Kit Simons.
Yep.
Jimmy Dickinson.
Went around then.
I reckon he won it, so that counts. Let's go for Sully Montari.
No.
10
seconds. Big names. Just think of big names.
Sol.
No.
Papa Boopa Diop.
No.
Herman Hreiderson.
No. Time. You got 9.
Still crap, but when you tell me who I could have had, I'm just going
to. So recently we've had Craig McGilvery.
About him.
Christian Burgess.
See, kill myself. Yeah.
We also had Ender Stevens. Jesus Christ. Michael Doyle. Ricky Holmes, who I still don't know how he won it that year, but
Who was that?
Ricky Holmes. He was
Jesus
the
Christ.
most Marmite player I think we've ever had.
We must have been so bad if Ricky Holmes is winning it.
Well, I think he won it just because he had a mad last 5 games, and it was based on that. Where he just kept getting about 2 assists a game. Johnny Ertel won it.
See, this is so... I apologise to every Pompey fan for not getting these. And I fully deserve to not win.
Ricardo Rocha, Hayden Mullins, Jamie O'Hara, Glenn Johnson, Gary O'Neill, Limvoy,
Oh, God.
Zoo, Stevanovic, Crouch.
I just can't do it under pressure.
That's what I was trying to say. Just guess big names, doing.
Big names do not include Jamie O'Hara and Ricky Holmes, mate. That's not...
No. But I mean, like people like Gary O'Neill, Primus, Crouch.
God.
Steve Claridge has won it a couple of times. Lee Bradbury, Darren Anderton, Guy Whittingham.
See, terrible. So
Bailey. Right.
So bad.
So you got 9. Now it's down to Daz. I need to know how many you can get on how many official, so no caretakers or anything like that, official Pompey managers. Go.
Right. John Messina, Danny Cowley, Kenny Jackett, Paul Cook, Richie Barker, Andy Orford, Guy Whittingham, Alan Perrin, Avram Grant, Paul Hart, was he actually? Tony Adams. Right, go back. Hey, Redknapp.
To make it easier, you have one. We can end this if you want.
I'm going to keep going. Hey, Redknapp.
Yep.
Tony Pulis.
Yep.
Graham Ricks.
Yep.
Jim Smith.
Yep.
Terry Fennick.
Yep.
See, Discovery, you know what? I'm trying to think of the managers that sort of ran my time. Alan Ball.
Yep.
I said Jim Smith, didn't I?
You did.
Who before Jim Smith? See, like managers before that. Well, Terry Fennick. If I'm going to leave it there. Yeah. No point wasting time.
That's absolutely fine. Did you say Avram Grant?
I did, yeah. I'm pretty sure I did.
He did, yeah.
Yeah, you pretty much got all the the ones I would probably expect you to get. And you got people like Frank Burrows, John Gregory, Bobby Campbell.
Well, I did have Gregory in my head, but I thought, who's the owner? No, it was John Deacon, wasn't it? Was it John Deacon?
Yeah, John Deacon was an owner.
Yeah,
you had.
I'm getting John. Yeah.
Jim Dickinson was a manager. Didn't know that till I read the list.
I just went from obviously Jim Smith was my first manager. So
Bob Jackson, who won both league titles, Jack Tin, who won the FA Cup. Like, other than that, I wouldn't expect you to get people like Robert Brown or Bob Blythe.
No.
Right, so that's taking Daz you now up to 2 points ahead again.
Nice.
13-11. With what do you reckon? So we reckon what?
I don't think we do it. I think probably next week's the last one, maybe.
Well, that means it's over. It's done because there's only 2. Can we do 2 more? And if Daz wins next week, it's over.
Yeah, do that then.
Yeah?
All right, 2 more. All right.
Cool. But the Harry's Who Am I is going to carry on forever, though. Yeah.
Yes, we will do it with our guests that we may have. But are you ready, boys, for your favourite time of the week?
I'll be shocked if one of our guests would know anyone.
Right, let's stop there. Right, let's go. Oh yeah, you know what time it is. Right. Where has that gone? God damn it. So number 1 is I started my career at Prescott Cables.
Sorry, can you repeat that? Because my son asked me a question and had a mute.
That's rude of him.
It was.
I started my career at Prescott Cables.
Can you tell us whereabouts in the country that is?
No.
Mean, isn't he? I'm going to be really mean next year on Has versus Daz.
Not to me. Not to me. Prescott Cable. See, I don't even know where that is. Like, I'm quite clued up with my non-league, so I don't know whether Prescott Cables is like in one of the Wessex division of
Could be a
like
bloody
the North.
MLS team. I don't fucking know.
Yeah. Well, Prescott Cables. Nah, that sounds like a northern side because I don't think there's any teams around this way.
Oh, it definitely not this way. You would have heard of them. Find out it was 30 minutes up the road.
And also, it could be a youth team, couldn't it?
I'll give you a clue. They are a northern team. In the city they have a very specific accent.
They're either Geordie or Scouse then, aren't they?
Or Mancunian. Or Brummy.
Accent, though? I would say, like, if I'm thinking distinct, that's Scouse or Geordie.
Maybe.
That's what I'm going on anyway. I have no idea. It's just, I'm going to think of a Scouser. We've done Gary Roberts, haven't we? Yeah, I'm trying to think of a Scouser. Who would be a Joe Rafferty?
Scouser. Mickey Quinn.
Clue number 2. I played with Martin Craney, Chris Maguire, and Josh Murphy, but not at Pompey.
Right, I always forget. So that's Martin Craney, Josh Murphy. See, I always forget the third.
Chris Maguire.
Chris Maguire, Josh Murphy. My brain can't hold 3 names. Martin Craney, right?
Yes.
Right, so Josh Murphy has been at Norwich, Cardiff, Oxford. Anywhere else? That's all.
I'm sure.
Martin Craney. He's scum. Who else has he played for? Who did Martin Craney play for?
Played for isn't he like play at Coventry?
Yeah. Or did he go to Barnsley?
I'm not sure. I think didn't he go to Coventry from us?
Might have done. He's a player I never really bothered to follow. I'm sure he was at Barnsley. Okay, and the other player was
Maguire.
So that's what?
Derby,
Lincoln,
Sunderland.
None of these are matching Josh Murphy. Have either of them two ever played for Cardiff, Oxford? So Murphy.
Craney played for Oxford, isn't he?
Huh?
Did Craney go play for Oxford?
I don't remember him being there, but he could have done. We're gonna. I have no idea with this one. He's getting harder. He's too hard now.
Just have to guess, isn't it?
But guess who? I can't even think of anyone that's played with Murphy's teams. He must have played for another club, even if it was on loan.
Have we said Gary Roberts before? We haven't.
Yeah, I'm sure we have.
No idea. Wow.
It might be Geordie though. How many Geordie?
Could be. What Geordies have we had?
Yeah. Just trying to think of any players we've had. Oh, let's see. Just to speed this up, Ender Stevens. I know he's not Scout or Geordie. I just thought the first name came to my head.
Gareth Evans.
Clue number 3. After I retired from football, I became a golf caddy for Robert Rock.
Golf caddy.
I don't know why that rings a bell. A player going off to be a caddy, not for what was his name?
Robert Rock.
I don't. I'm done with this. I don't even know.
But someone did go to caddying, didn't they? I'm trying to think who it is.
Who is it? Who is it? Oh,
who went caddying? That's gonna bug me. It's someone quite recent. Like, well, when I say recent, I would say a player within the last 10 years that's retired. I'm going to go on that there, either Scouse. I'm just trying to think of a Scouse or...
Can you get it?
Yes, I can think of a player. Who's Scout. Well, I don't know if it's right, obviously, but I can think of a Scouse player that's recently retired, and I'm sure he's a big golf player.
Go on then.
Carl Baker.
Oh, great shout.
Yeah.
That is correct.
Yes. Oh, thank God. I remember these Scouts. That's the only reason why I picked him. And I know he's a good golf player.
So, the clubs. Martin Craney, who played with at Coventry.
Yeah.
Also played with Chris Maguire at Coventry.
Oh, yeah, good one. But where's he with Josh Murphy?
MK Dons.
Ah, must have been a loan.
He did. He went on loan. That was his first loan in football for Josh. Was MK Dons.
Other than Norwich, Oxford and Cardiff, I didn't even know he had a loan anywhere. But he probably did that because most players do.
He did indeed.
That was a good one. A hard one.
Go.
Jesus Christ, that was fucking hard.
There we go. Right. That is that done. Next is a bit of any other business. There was the club awards last night, and it was a clean sweep for a Mr. Josh Murphy, who we were just talking about. He won Player of the Season. He won Players Player of the Season. And he also won Goal of the Season award, which was for his goal versus QPR. Now, we are going to do our own Pompey Patter Awards ceremony next week, which is obviously held in much, much higher regard than the club's own awards, because why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But we'll quickly kind of run through it without giving our own, with our awards next week, selection away. I think it's pretty clean sweep, and it is a clean sweep rather, and it's a pretty decent one, to be honest, guys. Do you think is? I mean, we kind of thought about the goal, but I think the technique on that goal is pretty spectacular.
For me, goalies ruin goals, and it ruins it that he just did like a weird turn. If he died for it, it would have looked better. I always have that argument.
If he thinks it's going wide though, why would he dive?
No, I know, but I'm not blaming the keeper for not diving to make the goal look better. Why didn't he dive? What I mean is, I just find it just like when people bang on about Ronaldo's free kick. Don't get me wrong, technique, quality, the way he pinpointed that. I know why J-Mo didn't go for it. It's because he had no fucking chance. But imagine if he died for how good it would have looked. It would have looked so much better.
Yeah, but sometimes you watch keepers and go, why bother?
No, but it just makes it look. That's just my opinion. It's a bit like I love goals that hit bars, hit posts, and go in. There's something about it. I mean, it's a great goal. I was just surprised that was the goal of the season. I still think his goal against Preston was better than that.
That goal against Preston was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, nice.
Just along the floor, 35 yards. But I do find it funny that they do these awards before the season ends, because what if, Rob Atkinson does a 35-yard bicycle kick? That's going to win.
Top corner.
And what if he goes and knee slides in front of the whole fans? Like, do you know what I mean? Like something silly. Like, then he deserves to win it, and we've already done it. So
it would have been interesting to see where Bishop and Lang could have been in the award lineup if they both had been full season.
Well, bearing in mind of how we've talked about this, is going to be the first time I think in 5 years that the Championship top scorer is currently below 20. Obviously,
it's shocking, isn't it?
I know Joel Pirot's on 19. I think it is now.
But that's only because he scored 4 goals the other day.
Yeah, exactly. So if Bishop, bearing in mind he's on 11, if he was fully fit for the whole season, he's getting a minimum of 15 next year, possibly even 20 again.
I really, if I see anyone slander him ever again, he must be the first player to be 3 seasons in a row top scorer.
Yeah.
For maybe since like Whittingham.
And if he didn't have this heart surgery, bearing in mind he was on the fucking table, mate, when we were on the operating table when we played Leeds. Like, he'd literally just done it. It's just mad. And then by November he was fully fit, and he came on, and he scored that goal against Preston. And I know we were already winning, but that's the turning point of the season for me.
Yeah. I mean, if he was fit, along with if we had a settled back four for the majority of the season, we're safe 2 games ago.
Do you not think we'd have been potentially in that playoff mix?
Well, I'm one of these people where I don't want to overshoot when it comes to that sort of stuff, because it can sound a bit silly.
On the fence, I don't.
Mr. Creosote.
I'm on it, but I'm just peeping on it, because like when you hear someone says, "Oh, we should have won that," if we had taken our chances, we would have won that 4-5-0. Like, you have a lot of chances, but it's never the case. It's 4-5-0. Usually, it's like about 2 or something like that, isn't it? I think people overstate stuff too much. I think with Bishop and another and a decent back 4 for the majority of the season, I think that gets us at least another 5 points.
I'd say more than that, way more than that.
Yeah, maybe more than that, but like obviously especially if we're talking League One, then it's a bit different. But with the Championship, because it's so competitive, it's still hard to sort of like guess what numbers are. But I would say at least another 5 points.
I think we would have been comfortably mid-table.
Well, that's it.
So we're on I think we'd be on around 60 points.
Yeah, which is comfortably mid-table, isn't it?
Yeah, because we're on 52 now. Yeah, I'd say 60 to 65 points.
And I mean that as in, like, we never look like probably going down.
No. Well, we might be a comfortable mid-table team by the end of
but we haven't been comfortable all season. Well, I mean, I honestly think if we had, a team of Schmidt, take your pick up right back, whoever you prefer, Shotnessy and Atkinson, Ogilvie, Giselle, Potts, Ritchie, Lang, Murphy, Bishop, all season, we definitely easily would have been a comfortable mid-table team. And they've shown and proved that.
I agree. And that's what we got to look forward to next year, is just, as we said, making a few additions and keeping these guys like Callum Lang or more so, he's only had one injury, but more so Shotnessy and Jacob Farrell we want to see more of, because we've only seen him for 1 match this season and he looked really good. But we need to see more of him to know his consistency and his level. I'm looking forward to seeing Hayden Matthews a bit more as well. So yeah, it's positive, and as we said, we've secured our safety. And I think on that note, I think is probably a good place to end, unless you boys have anything else to add.
No, all good.
Oh, good, mate. Cheers.
Lovely.
All good.
So next week we will have our Pompey Patter Awards evening, as I said. There will be a whole host of different awards up for grabs, good and bad. And boys, have a lovely week. As we said, we don't really give a shit, really, to be honest, about the football now, which is a nice break to have. But have a nice week, boys.
You can just sit back and watch the peasants like battle out for relegation.
That's it, absolutely. We can just sit there and not have any worry in any part of our body, and we can sit there and laugh while all these other teams sit there and panic. Russ, have a good week, my friend.
Yeah, good. Have a good week, boys.
Lovely. Thank you for everybody listening live tonight, and thank you for everybody who listens back during the week. And we will see you next week. Don't forget.